Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Beth, also known as Bemmy's Bookshelf, and we are reading fantasy for a whole week and I am so excited about it. This actually started because I am about 130 pages into Fourth Wing and I thought, why am I not filming this? Like, this is a monumental moment for me. I'm reading Fourth Wing for the first time, so why aren't I filming it? Lo and behold, I decided to film it. Obviously, the dust jacket's coming off, as it should. The darkness is because I've got my Christmas lights on. I'll show you, they're just so cute. So I actually do have to show you right now. This is my new tree. She's so gorgeous. Apologies about the mess. Little up close shot of the tree. And this is my little gonk with my Magnolia books. So everything is cute in the world of Bethany's bedroom. My MOTD is this one. We've seen her all before. She's my favourite mug. It's just the perfect shape. Perfect shape, nice and big. And my drink of the day is Sleep by Twinings, which I think has got chamomile, lavender, probably not either of those two things, and also a couple other ingredients I can't remember, but it's delicious. It's actually been freezing today as well. It actually snowed earlier. It's perfect fantasy reading weather because if you know me, you know I love a fantasy book in the autumn, in the winter, when it's snowing. I will tell you kind of where I'm at in the book. I am on page 128, so I was very close. I have met Violet, met Xaden, met Dane, met all of the main characters, and at the moment Violet's training for the threshing. I think that's what it's called, or the presentation. I think it's the threshing. She's training for that at the moment, and she's on the last kind of trial before threshing, and it's brutal. It's actually very brutal. There is a lot of death in this book. A lot of death. But it's fine. We've got this much more death to go, so I'm just going to have to get used to it. Also, the banter from Xaden is... I'm just at the part now where they're going into the threshing, so that's where they either choose a dragon and become a rider, or they die. So I'm just about to get to that part. I mean, it's not really a spoiler. It's in Violet's POV. We've got this much of the book left, so sorry if you think that's a spoiler, but it's simply not. So she's going to choose her dragon now and hopefully get a good one. I think the only way I'm going to get lighting that isn't going to make me blue is up here, and I'm going to keep it quick because my arm's aching. But I just wanted to talk about something. It's really interesting because mostly with animal species, it's the breed of animal that changes their personalities. However, in this, it's the colour. So you can have a clubtail dragon. However, it's the colour of it that changes its personality, not the fact that it's a clubtail. So it could be a clubtail, a feathertail, but it's the green ones that have the same personality, or the red ones that have the same, or the orange, or the brown. And that was just a little bit of interest that I found coming out of this book. That was not a sentence that made sense. Look at me, I'm actually glowing. Why am I glowing? Why is this happening? Violet's chosen her dragon now, or her dragon has chosen her, and her dragon is hilarious. I'm not going to say who it is, but he's so funny. I'm literally sat here giggling at a dragon. I think Violet can feel when her dragon is doing the deed. I wasn't expecting that at all. I don't know if I'm reading that completely wrong, but that's the vibe that I'm getting, and it's making me a bit... I just wasn't expecting it. Ooh. Oh. Oh, this is so weird. I love Xaden so much. I've got this much left of the book. I think I'm about 55% through, so I'm hoping to finish this either today or tomorrow. I start my new job at Waterstones tomorrow. I'm really excited, obviously. So, I'm hoping to finish this tonight so that I don't have to take a hardback into work. Is it just me, or is this really, really zoomed in? I feel like it's usually there. But do you know what I mean? It just feels really close and I don't know why. Anyway, I don't want to take a hardback into work and like whack out my hardback, so I'm hoping to finish this tonight so that I can start a new book tomorrow. Another fantasy, and I want to read one that's on my TBR because I set myself a personal goal to read at least 50% of my TBR this month. Not my TBR, like my monthly TBR, and I only need to read one more book because there was 6 books on my TBR and I've read 2, so I'm just looking now. I've either got the Cruel Prince or A Court of Wings and Ruin. Obviously I won't finish A Court of Wings and Ruin by Thursday. When is the last day of the month? Friday, I think. So I think I might go with the Cruel Prince. You know, when people said that Fourth Wing was like dragons and smut, I wasn't expecting it to actually be dragon smut. Xaden has just said to Violet ew. Violet's trying to block out her dragon so that obviously she can't feel him doing his thing, and Xaden's just said you won't ever be able to block them out completely, and sometimes they forget to block us, like tonight. That's why Charum helps, but at least it's like walking by a brothel instead of actively participating in one. Ugh. It's Tuesday now. I had my first shift at Waterstones yesterday and I honestly had the best day. Like, I can't wait for my next shift. I had such a fun time and I managed to read a bit of Fourth Wing in work. I'm currently on page 107. I've got this much left, so I'm definitely going to finish it now. I'm so nervous because everything at the moment is like just going nicely, apart from, you know, Xaden and Violet are like, they're not really sure what's going on between them, but nothing bad is happening. But I just know something will, because there's no way in hell there's going to be this much of a book left and nothing bad's going to happen. So I'm sensing like a war coming on or something, but I'm so nervous. I just want to read you this passage. Actually, this is just the next part of the chapter I'm on chapter 32. As for the 107 innocents, the children of the executed officers, they now carry what shall be known as the rebellion relic, transferred by the dragon who carried out the king's justice, and to show the mercy of our great king, they will all be conscripted into the prestigious riders' quadrant at Basgiath, so they may now prove their loyalty to our kingdom and their service, or with their death. With their service or with their death. That's not anything new, by the way. You find that out almost right at the beginning of the book, so I don't really know why it's telling us again now. It's got these little like passages at the beginning of each chapter. Some of them are from books, some of them are from textbooks, but I'm not really sure why that's been explained again. Usually it relates to the chapter, so we will see. Oh, this is what I've been waiting for the past like 50 pages. The banter between Violet and Tarn, I think that's how you say his name, that's how I've been pronouncing his name in my head, Tarn. It's just, I think I've said that before, but I'm just loving their banter. There is nothing in this scene that should be making me cry at all. I've just got emotional all of a sudden and I don't know why. I think it's because I'm ill. I'm gonna put it down to the fact that I'm ill. No, I can't see. I love Liam so much. He's so cute. This book is the first book I've read in such a long time where I have taken in every word of the smut on the page. Usually I just skim read it, but I'm just eating everything about this book right up like it's my dinner. I knew it. Oh no. I knew it. Two things I've just discovered. One, Gryphon or Griffin, I've been saying Gryphon, they have riders of their own, just like the dragons do. I am so sorry if that's a spoiler because I'm not sure if it is or if I just missed it. Two, Gryphons are the same size as dragons. So this whole time when they've been talking about the Gryphons and how horrid they are, I've been thinking, can't the dragons literally just like claw them or fire them, breathe fire on them? Like, because when I think of a Gryphon, I think they're described as like birds and lions. I might be getting that completely wrong. But anyway, I thought they were like the size of maybe a horse at most. I thought they were like the size of a lion, horse at most, not a bloody dragon. So now I'm really rethinking everything and now I'm shit scared. I've got this much left and I'm actually really shit scared. Oh my god, I'm actually freaking dumb. I've just reread the sentence and it says that they're a third the size of a dragon. So they're not the same size of a dragon. And I was literally thinking that is a weird sight to be seen. But they're a third the size. They're a third of the size of our dragons, but those beaks and claws look capable of shredding skin and scale just the same. Why can't they just breathe fire on them and be done with it? I can't bother to put my camera on my tripod and I'm sat on my bed and not my sofa for once, so I'm really struggling where to put my camera, so I'm so sorry that I'm like a little pea in the bottom of the screen. No. Oh. I've never seen a Gryphon rider before. The dragons usually burn them to ash along with their half eagle, half lion mounts. I've just had my own questions answered. Wait, I've just read the same page twice. Oh. This is horrible. I feel so emotional finishing this book. It was so good. I'm not going to waffle on about it for too long because I know I'm the last person on the bloody bandwagon for this book. Like, this book was so hyped last year and I am the last person to read it. Why did none of you tell me to read it sooner? Oh my god, 5 stars. I'm so excited for Iron Flame. I've got it. It's fine, I can read it straight away. I'm so excited. I'm not going to read it next because I don't want this reading vlog to be a fourth wing reading vlog. I bawled my, well, you would have seen, I bawled my eyes out so hard towards the end of this book. I couldn't put it down. I think I read it for like 2 hours straight towards the end. And there was not one part of this book that I felt bored at or I thought, I can't wait for this book to be over. This was just such an easy 5-star and Xaden and Violet are my new favourite couple. Every time I read a new fantasy book, that couple is my new favourite couple, but I think Xaden and Violet are my new favourite couple. Tied with Favour and Rhysand. Oh, I can't. How am I going to read another book? I need to choose another book to read now, and I want to read a book off my physical TBR because I wanted to read at least 50% of my physical TBR this month and I need one more book to read. So the 2 fantasies I have on my physical TBR are A Court of Wings and Ruin, which I'm not going to finish in 2 days because it is the 26th and obviously I will be reading till Thursday, or The Cruel Prince, which I think is a fantasy. Yeah, there's fae in this book, so this is a fantasy and it's nice and short. The font's nice and big, so I think we're going to do The Cruel Prince next. I'm really excited for this one because I've had lots of great things. Slight issue for the vlog. It's now Thursday evening and I wanted to only do a week long reading vlog, which is fine, but I've only read Fourth Wing and like 12 pages of The Cruel Prince, and that's just simply not good enough for a reading vlog. So you're also lucky you get me until Sunday. I'm gonna read with you guys until Sunday, or at least until I finish The Cruel Prince, because a reading vlog with just one book just simply doesn't do it for me. I feel like I look like Tamlin right now. I don't like this look. I'm gonna read. I'm really enjoying it so far. I started it last night, didn't read much because I just read a little bit in the bath, but I'm actually really enjoying it. I've read the back, although it doesn't really tell you much, and I honestly can't remember, so I'm not gonna read any more of the back. But I do also have this on my Kindle, so if I do want to read while I'm just snuggled up in my bed, I can. Carden, who I'm guessing is the love interest in this book because he's on the back, is really, really horrible, and he's not really the type of guy that can redeem himself in my book. Usually when it's kind of like enemies to lovers, the enemy is horrible but not unnecessarily, whereas I feel like Carden seems to just be horrid, like mean, nasty, violent for no reason, although I'm only on page 22, so we might find out why he's this way. But at the moment, there's nothing worse than reading about a character that you don't like, and especially reading about a horrible character that you don't like, and that's how I feel about Carden right now. Although I've literally been introduced to him 2 pages ago, so it might change. I have a feeling that Taryn, Jude's twin sister, is going to go against her at some point, and maybe Jude will kind of go against the Fae in this book, or the king or whatever, but Taryn will stick by them. I don't know if I'm right about that at all, but that's the vibes I get from Taryn. Like, I feel like she's one of those goody two-shoes that just really wants to impress and will do anything to impress. Do you know what I mean? Also, look at my new Kindle insert. I will link it below because it's so cute. I'm just at work and I actually got in like 40 minutes early, so I'm gonna read now. I'm about 80 pages into The Cruel Prince, chapter 10, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very YA, and I hate Carden. Like, I actually don't know how he's gonna redeem himself for me, because I just think he's a nasty bully. And usually with enemies to lovers, they're not that horrible. Yeah, they want to kill them, whatever, but they're not like bullies. But he's like a high school bully, and I don't like it. I really don't like reading it. And we're 80 pages in and there's not even been any flirting. Usually with these it's like at least flirty banter, but there hasn't been. So I'm gonna keep reading, see how I get on. Also, I need to show you guys my new bookmark I made. Cute, isn't it? It's now Monday. I know I said I was only filming till Sunday, but I still haven't finished The Cruel Prince, and I refuse to finish a video with like a half-finished book. Although I'm only like 35% in, so I'm not half finished, but I'm on my work break. My half-an-hour break, I didn't get a chance to read at lunch, so I'm gonna read now. I get really anxious that someone's gonna come in, so I'm gonna be quick with my talking. But I'm enjoying it. It's just very, very, very YA, but one of my colleagues said the second book is incredible, so I'm holding out till then. One thing that I'm really not sure I'm used to is how it's a fantasy with fae and goblins, set in a modern world where they wear like polka dot underwear and they go to the mall and they have a phone, and you know, I'm not used to that. Like with fantasies, usually it's a fantasy. There's no phones, there's no TVs, there's no electricity. There is electricity. There's no electronics, is what I meant to say. But with this, it's like they were born in a modern world, our world, and they get taken to the fairy world. And do you know what it really reminds me of? Enchanted. The movie Enchanted with Patrick Dempsey. Because they're in their fairy tale village and they go to the modern world, and that's what this reminds me of. Because obviously I know that in Akatar, Feyre gets brought from her home world to the land of the Fae, but her home world was still like they live in a cabin, log burner, they have to hunt for their food. It's not like they go to the supermarket, whereas this is like they go to the supermarket. I don't know how I feel about it. It's very weird. I finished The Cruel Prince and I'm giving it a 3-star. I enjoyed it, but I was very underwhelmed. The hype that I've heard around this book didn't live up to my expectations, which is fine. It was still a good book. It was just very, very, very YA for me. But it was really YA, but then on the other hand, I was so confused, and the world building was good, but I was so confused. It was so confusing. Half the words in this book, I was confused. And another thing is that I really, 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 up until maybe like the last 10%, hated Cardan, the MMC. And enemies to lovers, can I call it that because it's YA? In enemies to lovers, you know the MMC is an enemy. He's not a nice guy, but you still really like him and you're just longing for the romance to brew. Whereas in this book, I hated Cardan so much that I just did not want to see him on a page. Like, I was just skimming his pages because I just did not want to see him on the page. I thought he was horrid. I hated his little posse, his little group. They were all horrible. And I don't know if that's what made Cardan worse, but Cardan was their leader. So if you hate them, you kind of automatically hate Cardan as well. And there was just no chemistry between them, like no vibes. I'll tell you who there was chemistry between: Jude and Locke. But we all know who that turns out. I will be reading the rest of the series. I have heard from one of my colleagues at work that the series just literally goes from 0 to 100 and it's so good from the second book. So I'm definitely going to be reading the rest of the series. I don't know if I'll continue on with it this side of the year, but I definitely will at some point. My battery's flashing, so this is going to be the end of this reading vlog. I'm sorry that it was only 2 books, it was very short. It's gonna be a getting through my TBR reading fantasies kind of video. You'll see the title anyway when you clicked on it. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!